go check out Jay Calderon Boxing Talk on YouTube.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Jay Calderon, Stand Clear Entertainment, and we're about to get into this week's Boxing Talk. On October the 14th, it's a big night of boxing for boxing fans. First, Premier Boxing Champions brings you two Mexican-American action-packed fighters in Leo Santa Cruz and also Abner in two separate bouts on Fox Television Network. Free boxing on TV. This is what you want to see. It's not the fight that a lot of boxing fans would like to see. They want to see the fight between these guys, but that fight is not going to take place until early on next year. And now they're going to fight a tune-up fight right before their much-anticipated fight. These two fights right here between Abner and Andres Gutierrez, and also Leo Santa Cruz versus Chris Avalos. These fights are actually action-packed fights, entertaining fights, just to give you a little side dish of what they're gonna have in their fireworks fight, because everybody knows that Leo Santa Cruz and also Abner are action-packed fighters that like to bring the entertainment, and I see these guys having very little trouble with the opponents that they're about to face. Chris Avalos is a guy that has not lived up to his potential. He's been in there against guys like Carl Frampton. He does come to fight, and I expect Leo Santa Cruz to go an all-out assault on this man and take his man out with a knockout victory. The same as Abner. I see Abner as a guy that's going to go in there against Andres Gutierrez and have very little trouble against a tough game fighter, but at the very end, we're going to see a knockout performance by Abner because he did look pretty good in his last performance, and that's just going to be a little appetizer for the main event, which is going to take place most likely in March of 2018 when these guys finally meet each other in a rematch that's overdue, because these guys should have had a rematch after that last fight. But we've had some bumps in the road. We've seen Abner come back, win a world title, a secondary featherweight title at 126 pounds. And also we've seen Leo Santa Cruz lose against a guy like Carl Frampton and then get a rematch in two very good fights and capture that world title back and revenge that loss. So now they're going to square off against each other next year. That's a fight that I can't wait for, because it's going to be an all-out war for 12 rounds. I see spectacular knockout victories in both of these men over the weekend, and then we look to bigger and better things with the rematch next year. Now, moving along over to Showtime Championship Boxing, we're going to have 3 world championship titles, a triple header in the junior middleweight division of 154 pounds. We're going to start off with Jermell Charlo defending his WBC junior middleweight title against mandatory #1 undefeated contender Erickson Lubin. This is a matchup where fight fans are very excited about this fight. Two young, skillful fighters going up against each other in a very good matchup. Now, a lot of people are saying that this might be a little bit too early for Erickson Lubin because, you know, he hasn't really fought some really tough competition. He's going right into the lion's den, jumping into this fight, stepping up against a good quality champion in Jermell Charlo. The Charlo brothers have been very good at 154 pounds. One of the Charlo brothers moved up to 160, and now his brother's looking to take over as the best 154-pounder in the world. And against a guy like Erickson Lubin, who looks very promising. This guy is from Orlando, Florida, you know, my second hometown. I'm rooting for Erickson Lubin to really come in there and shine. A lot of people think that this is a fight that's going to match up like the way the other Charlo brother did against J-Rock Williams. That was a fight that a lot of fans thought that J-Rock was going to shine in that fight as well, and he came up short. He got knocked out in that fight, and a lot of people feel that the same results are going to happen with a guy like Erickson Lubin. Lubin is a guy that can box. He can also punch, very hard-hitting puncher, undefeated, but untested and unproven leading into this fight. Jermell Charlo is a guy that has boxing skills as well, very quick hands. He's a good, experienced fighter, a guy with good punching power as well, and he's looking to look spectacular the way his brother did against J-Rock. So we're going to have to see how this fight plays out. I'm looking for a back-and-forth performance by both men. We're going to see who really has the perfect game plan to execute in this fight, because these guys are both highly talented fighters, and I see that this fight could end in a knockout performance. Who's going to be the one really tested in the chin department and to go down in this fight? You know, Erickson Lubin has knockout power in both hands. He likes to call his hands sledge and hammer. So we're going to have to see he's really up for the task to really perform in this fight and really come out victorious. If it goes all the way to the 12th and final round, we don't know what these judges are really going to score. You know, we've been having some bad scorecards a lot lately, and we really don't want to see this type of fight end up in the judges' scorecard. So let's see if these guys can rise to the occasion and really come out on top with a knockout performance. And I'm rooting for Erickson Lubin to get a spectacular knockout and win this fight and move on to bigger and better things. But if you had to put your money on this fight, Jermell Charlo is the guy that's the betting favorite in this fight. Now, also on that card, we have IBF junior middleweight champion Jarrett Hurd defending his title against veteran former world champion Austin Trout. This is an intriguing matchup with these guys right here. Austin Trout, you haven't seen him in quite some time. He's a veteran warrior that has been in there with fights against Canelo Alvarez and also Miguel Cotto. He has a victory over. So this is a fight right here where Jarrett Hurd is stepping up in a big fight. We saw his last performance against Tony Harrison. That was a very good fight. He started out late in that fight. Tony Harrison was really dominating that fight early, and Jarrett Hurd started to come in the second half, and he came back with a knockout victory to win the world title. This is his first title defense, and he's looking to really make a statement. I had an interview with him at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. You can check out that interview with me and Jarrett Hurd on YouTube. And he said that he's not overlooking Austin Trout. He knows that Trout is a dangerous fighter. He knows that Trout is capable of giving him a good fight, but he's looking to come out on top in this fight and really show what he's made of. He wants to prove all the doubters wrong. He wants to show the critics that he is a skillful fighter, that he could box, that he could also punch. He's a strong, big junior middleweight at 154 pounds. He said he doesn't know how long he has left in this weight class before moving up, because he would like to move up. He's a very big guy, and he's looking to impose his size and his will on Austin Trout. We don't know if Austin Trout still has what it takes to become world champion. We know he has the experience. We know that he could be a dangerous fighter if he still has something left in the tank. And that's what we're going to see, if he can school this young boy, or is it this young man's time ready to explode on the junior middleweight division and take over the division as one of the top fighters in that weight class. So we have to see how this fight plays out. I think this fight is definitely going to go 12 rounds, and it's going to come down to perhaps the younger lion going down the stretch and getting the victory win against the old warrior trying to make his last hurrah. But that's my take on Jarrett Hurd. I have him by 12th round decision victory. Now the main event of the evening is WBA junior middleweight champion Cuban Erislandy Lara defending his title against U.S. Olympian undefeated contender Terrell Gausha. This is a fight where, you know, a lot of people feel that Gausha is not ready also for this type of fight, but Erislandy Lara has not fought anyone in the last 4 opponents that he has faced. He's really declined ever since he's fought Canelo Alvarez. You know, I thought he won that fight against Canelo Alvarez, but he hasn't fought anybody of note. He hasn't really tested himself in the 154-pound weight division, and he's going up against a guy that's untested, unproven in Terrell Gausha. Gausha is a guy that's a U.S. Olympian, an outstanding amateur. He hasn't fought the caliber fighter that he's going up against, Erislandy Lara. You know, I expect this fight to be a pretty interesting fight because we want to know what does Gausha have to bring to the table. He has some good skill sets, but he was also knocked down in his last performance, and we really don't know what type of chin that he has. It's pretty suspect right now against a guy like Lara. Lara's not a big puncher. He's a very skilled fighter, slick boxer, good footwork, good hand speed. You know, very experienced fighter. He's been in there with a lot of good talent, and he's proven to be one of the best fighters in the world, and he's the top guy at 154 pounds right now. But I think he's kind of lost his place in the division because Charlo brothers have definitely proved to be more active, more of exciting fighters. But Lara, you can't disrespect his resume because he does have a very good resume. He has proven himself, and he's just hasn't been that active. And we're looking to see a good performance. I like Lara a lot. I believe he's going to be the guy to win this fight. It should go 12 rounds. You know, both guys are not big punches. I haven't seen too much of Terrell Gausha to really give a hard opinion about him. But like I said before, he's never been in this type of fight. I look forward to see him shining and seeing how well he performs against this type of caliber of a fighter. But I pick Erislandy Lara to win a unanimous 12-round decision against this young Olympian. And that's my take on the fights that are going to take place on Showtime. Triple header, 3 championship fights, good fights, very good stack card at the Barclays Center. Also, check out the fights, the double header with Abner and Leo Santa Cruz fighting in separate bouts on Fox Television Network. It's a great night of boxing for boxing fans. A lot of boxing that night, so don't forget to tune in. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel right here. I'd like to thank all my followers on YouTube, and also please follow me on Instagram and also on Twitter. Join the Facebook boxing group page, J. Calderon Boxing Talk. Hit like, hit the share button, make comments. You know, I always like constructive criticism. I try to go as many boxing events as possible. I will be, traveling to New York in November to see heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder in his next title defense. And I just want to thank everyone for tuning into this YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. I'm J. Calderon, Stand Clear Entertainment. Thanks for your support. Keep watching and please subscribe.